What thing are you still mad about? I was maybe 7. We were told to bring something to school and talk about it to the class. I absolutely loved rocks and brought in a few of my precious ones I had collected, including a bit of amethyst. I loved this amethyst. I remember being very young, maybe 2/3, and staring at a huge bit of amethyst in a shop or someplace on holiday. The person working there, I guess, thought it was cute how much I loved it and chipped a bit off for me. This was magical to me. I remember being so shy, but so happy, and I cherished that rock. At school we had to put all our items out on a counter, and when it came to lunchtime I discovered my amethyst had been stolen. The teacher made everyone stay in the room at their desks for lunch, hoping someone would come forward, but they never did. I was allowed to go out in the playground for lunch, but I was just sad and had a lonely lunch. I can still picture that bit of amethyst. I stopped collecting after that. I have my own daughter now though, and she seems to love rocks too. Together we are starting our own collection, mainly just from our walks to the lake etc. But it is reigniting my passion. I'm sorry about your rock, but way to instill curiosity in the younger generation. I'm sure your daughter will have much to look forward to. AWW. Thanks. My first girlfriend refused to try a strawberry because she tried strawberry milk as a kid once and didn't like it. She had never eaten an actual fresh strawberry and wouldn't even attempt to see if it was good or not. It made me so I'm so mad even thinking about it again. I hope she gets eaten by Bigfoot. I hope she stubs her little toe, like really hard. A group of my friends hanging out at my place were complaining about how broke they were, so I said I'd go out and buy stuff to make dinner for them. While I was gone they went out and got Subway. I came back and they waited until I was finished cooking to tell me they had already eaten. When you're truly broke you can't afford Subway. My history professor at uni had this optional extra credit assignment where we could write a report and it would replace soloist test grade. I chose not to do it because I already had an A in the class. Grades finally came out and the stupid ducking professor counted the assignment as an actual grade and marked it down as a 0 for me. It brought my average down to a C. I tried to reach out to the guy about this through email and phone calls, but he never responded. Next semester when we get back on campus, it turns out that he has retired. I tried to speak with the dean and other people about it, but they basically just brushed it off and said they couldn't do anything about it. So I'm just stuck with this C in history. Even though I worked my ass off to get an A, I'm actually getting pissed just typing this shit out. It was probably an honest mistake by the professor, but I don't duck around with my GPA. Oh my. That's so frustrating. I'd be furious too. When I was 5 at a family reunion I won a giant metallic ship model. Some old skank said I didn't deserve it. Stole it from me. No one stopped her. Duck that bitch. I want my boat back. Man, you could have been sailing the 7 seas. Colder pulled upon Io in that shit and puttered around town not paying attention to all the people who surely must be dead under the waves. My 4th grade bus driver never gave me a candy bar on the last day of school ever though she said she would. Find where that woman lives and leave menacing notes on her door. Steers 4 years letting her know you're watching and waiting. After 4 years of terrifying her calmly ask she place a candy bar in the mailbox. If she does not then carry on until she's a withered mess of a human shell. It's the only way they will learn. Yes. Missing cum laude by 005 GPA. I really wanted that goddamn tassel. Ended with a 3. 495 overall and a 3. 91 for just my major specific classes. Cum laude at my college was 3.6. My GPA was 3.57. Like you, my major specific one was much higher, 3.85, I think. I still got into the graduate program I wanted so in the end it was no big deal. But every now and then I think about those 0.3 points, lol. In undergraduate school I got an A instead of an A on a physics exam because the professor marked my answer for what is the speed of sound wrong. But my answer was correct for the speed of sound in water. That was over 20 years ago, and I still regret not bringing that to his attention. That the Sci-Fi channel changed their name to the Sci-Fi channel. I feel like they are pandering to the illiterate, and the quality of their programming nosedived along with the name change. I wasn't mad about that before, but your comment changed that. Game of Thrones. It's been over a year now, and whenever I think about season 8 I still get mad over it. r/free folks send their regards. We had a day in elementary school called 100 Day, and we would celebrate the 100th day of school by bringing in 100 of something. I brought in my 100 best Pokemon cards, including my holographic Charizard right at the top of the deck. At recess we all went out to play and left our things behind, and when I came back my cards were gone. Found out later some kid in my class had stolen them and traded them all to a bunch of kids in the year above us. I would murder someone. For real. I still have my full original 151 with all the promo cards and some first edition foils and stuff all in mint condition in a binder. Even today if I found out someone stole them, I'd go into a blind rage, and I don't even really care about them other than the nostalgia. Always thought they'd be worth something, but I guess so did everyone else. But maybe one day. At my thesis reading in college, a man stood up and shouted, "Do you like masturbating on a stage?" and received some applause. I was mortified, but continued reading when the guy was escorted out. That was 30 years ago. Wait, I need more info. Why was he applauded? Was he saying you were being pretentious? I suppose reading your own thesis on stage can come of as tooting your own horn a bit. Losing my job due to COVID after 11 years. If it makes you feel any better. I have nothing to input here other than wishing you the best. Sorry. In kindergarten, I was building a Lincoln Logs house. I was almost done when this girl took the last Lincoln log, making it so I couldn't finish. I took it back from her and she cried and I got in trouble. But obviously she took it from me to be mean. WTF are you going to do with one Lincoln log? Tell me, Lisa, what are you going to do with one Lincoln log? Ugh, still gets me mad that I got in trouble. When my roommate ate my leftover pizza I was looking forward to eating when I got back home from school. Has done a lot of shit that's probably a lot worse since then, but this is the only thing I'm still mad about. I was looking forward to eating that pizza, damn it. I feel you. The stolen pizza heard around the world SMH. My parents got my brother the car I had wanted, and they knew I wanted, for several years. On my birthday, I found out after they dropped me back off at my college dorm and went on Facebook. What the hell is wrong with them? I can't see my forehead. I saw this excerpt of some obesitous show with two big girls. One of them can actually see her forehead. Someone better get her to NASA ASAP to do studies. It's been over a year since I broke up with my ex, and we hadn't even been dating for long. But I'm still mad about him scratching my, then, brand new no stick pan. Ugh, why is it so hard to not mess up brand new pans? What do they not get? Just quit stabbing your forks into my daggum pans. OMG, right. Hey, there are wooden spatulas in the second drawer. Don't use the fork. You're gonna scratch it, I'm not. I do this all the time at my place. It never happens. He'll be careful. After I showed him what he did, whoa. Do you think that's how all my mom's pans look like too? Cause I was careful with yours, but I don't give a shot about hers, haha. My first grade teacher made me throw away a drawing I had been working on for days. I tried to take it out of the trash, so she took it and put it on her desk so I couldn't get to it. Duck her. It would have been a great way to crush a child's dream, but thankfully my heart is filled with spite instead of love. 3. I'm mad that people out there just copy and paste AskReddit stories into robot voice man. Throw it on YouTube and get 300k plus hits and probably make their rent money. I don't even like those AskReddit stories. I've had teachers accuse me of plagiarism when I've never copied any schoolwork in my life. Passive aggressive notes on work saying things like this would be amazing if you hadn't copied it, or you didn't do this, or simply refusing to mark it and staring at me the way a parent does when they think you're lying. Some used to try and argue with me about it, draw a confession out of me by saying nasty things. I used to go home and just cry and cry. I'm quite good at English. I used to read like 5 books a day when I was little, so my writing can get kinda pretentious. There's no worse feeling than putting your soul into something only for someone to say it isn't yours. Now it might be time to consider the audience you are writing for and dumb it down just slightly. I'm starting uni next month, so I don't think it will be an issue anymore. Just something that really marred my interest in school and college. I got bullied during elementary school, and on time they pushed me to the ground and tried to choke strangle me. The teachers didn't do anything. Even after I told them, they still did nothing. A few days later I picked some flowers from the garden my bullies told the teacher, and I was sent to the principal's office. Yes, this really happened. I don't know why, but I'm still confused to this day and so angry about it. Like, come on. I only realized why the teachers were ignoring everything I told them years after I left that school. It's to do with rating. If my complaints were brought any higher, they would have to file them, and it would damage the school's student safety score, making less people send their kids there. I was heavily bullied during elementary school, and when the school realized I'm going to hurt their precious rating, the staff started to bully me as well. They fabricated events, got me to the principal's office multiple times for no reason, sent emails to my parents, and I'm not even exaggerating, telling them I was crazy and made up being bullied for fun, and that I should be sent to a psychologist. Thankfully my parents are not total idiots and realized very quickly that if I came home bleeding, I probably wasn't making it up. Eventually I decided to move to another school, only to realize they've secretly sent emails to other schools telling them I was a bad kid and that they shouldn't accept me because, guess what? I was the smart kid and was having a positive influence on their grade ratings. So they would rather keep me around being miserable than have any other school take me. Luckily I did get accepted to that school, and it was a total life changer. I remember nearly tearing up when a random kid said hi to me, as the bullying problem in the first school was so bad that never actually happened before. Age 14. First day in a new school. Awkward. No friends there. Terrified about not fitting in. The flyer we'd been sent about the school uniform didn't specify sock color, so I wore the ones from my previous school, grey. Within the first 10 minutes of arriving, the titular vice principal stopped me for a uniform violation and confiscated my socks. Had to spend the rest of the day with my bare feet rubbing off my new shoes. I'm over 40 now and still so angry about that I'm shaking as I write this. Were you somewhere in the Asian states? I have heard people there wore uniforms. No, in Europe. Catholic school. That time I was invited to my college flatmate stag party, but then excluded from the wedding. It turned out there was a mix-up because the groom left the best man to organize a stag party and didn't care enough to actually look over the guest list. So I spent a few €100 between accommodation and activities for something I wasn't wanted at. I only found out I wasn't invited when I was out for a pint with the best man later, and we realized if I was getting an invite it would have arrived by now. When I was younger I was really afraid of ants. Still am. So when I was like 7 or 6, my bed was filled with ants for some reason, and I was crying and panicking. My brother had to make it worse by literally pushing me on the bed knowing full well that there are ants, and I'm panicking because of them. Duck him. This reminds me when one time I woke up and was crying and hysterical because I thought there were ants all over my pillow. My mom rushes in and turns on the light, and it turns out it was only just a dream. I'm so sorry, yours was reality. In high school a teacher stole my art sketch pad and gave it to her son. I'm 35. There was Ninja Turtles in that pad. Being born. Same. My older and much larger brother was smacking me in the face, pulling my hair, and punching me in my injured shoulder. I have always been a very petite woman with very little muscle. I told him I was going to kick him in the balls if he didn't stop, And our lazy no good father shouted "Ki-i-i-ids" from the couch, as if that would stop the commotion. My brother persisted, so I made good on my promise and he crumpled to his knees and cried. Dad finally gets off the couch to scream at me to never give a man a shot to the nuts. Great lesson, Dad. Teach your son to not hit women. I'm on team pale_moon_pixie here. My dad couldn't deter me from dishing out nut shots. Parental favoritism. Adulthood. Bailing out GM with federal tax dollars only for them to still file bankruptcy just months later. Duckgrams. Back in the late 90s I went to Taco Bell during this promotion they had where you could find pogs, cardboard discs with logos, in your drink lid, and they would list a prize. Typically this was a free drink or a basic burrito. But I got lucky and won a Gamma Boy. Went inside to claim it and they said I have to mail the pog to their HQ with some special envelopes, which they didn't have, meant to try other locations. But life distracts and I forgot about it. Found it years later. I'm still pissed. Years ago a friend of mine bought tickets to go see Cheap Trick. She put the tickets in an envelope and put the envelope in a drawer. She proceeded to forget all about the show and discovered the envelope about 5 years later. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.